Hello everyone, welcome back to DigitalGemStore. This is Dagger, and this video it's a few months late. This was meant to be my Halloween 2024 video. It's now March 22nd, 2025. In my defense, I finished the doll in time. I just didn't get around to editing the video because work picked up. Spring, Halloween, and Christmas are the busiest time of the years at work. So, I was working a lot of late nights. But no excuses. Today's video is The Librarian. Initially inspired by the art style of Little Nightmares. Littlest Nightmares is what Jacksepticeye calls it. Whoopsie daisy. Inspired by the art style of Little Nightmares, I was originally going to make a Little Nightmares Sona. But then, my brain being what it was, I came up with my own Eldritch-inspired world, and the Librarian is one such character. More on his story at the end credits. For now, let us begin! So first things first, let's show off the cutie's face. I bought this at New Clover Singing. The name of the mold in the doll I forgot at the top of my head, but I will put it in the subtitles and in the link in the description. And as always, the first thing I do is I start with blushing. But don't forget that before the blushing, I did put at least 2 to 3 layers of MSC to give the surface more grip for the pastels and pencils. Here I'm outlining with the white pencil an area of the face that I want to scar. This is my first time attempting something like this, and I basically just go back and forth with pastels and the white pastel pencil here to try and get the effects I want. It was my first time. I think I said that already, but yeah, it was my first time, and I kind of didn't have any idea what I was doing. I had a bunch of references up, but I didn't know exactly how to start. So I started with outlining the area, putting down some white, and then going over it with pink and reds. I think eventually I put in a little brown as well. I just went back and forth like this to try and get the effect I wanted. It was really hard. If I had some other materials, I could have made it a more 3D effect, which I think would have come off better. But I think for working with what I have, this came out pretty good. This came out pretty good. And I did cut out a lot of footage because it was just footage of me pasteling again and again and again. If I accidentally make a mistake, I go ahead and use my kneaded eraser to fix it up. Here I'm trying to use a different brush to get slightly different texture. I'm not sure if it worked, but it was worth a try. taking a small break from the burn scar, I move on to the lips. I'll go back and forth with different things between the burn scar and the rest of the face, but using slightly different colors, I get the base of the lips ready. And then go back to blushing the rest of the face as well, because I've been neglecting it. At this point, I wasn't satisfied with how the face was coming out, so I decided to try incorporating a different technique, where you take the pastel, you scrape off some powder, you wet the tip of your brush, and then you dip it in the powder. Then you start putting it on the face. It gives a darker consistency, I think. I don't know how I would describe it. You can kind of see how it came out here. I'm still not sure if this was a good idea, but I was clutching at straws at this point, making it up as I went along. Now it's time to move on from the blushing and give the eyes some love. I get my watercolor pencils and I start sketching out the shape of the eyelashes. I go in with some lighter colors for the waterline. Then a nice pink for the corner of the eyes. And for the eyebrows, I take some pastels to get the basic shape of what I want his eyebrows to be. Nice little close-up to see the progress so far. It's a bit hard to see with my camera not focusing, but what'd you think so far? It's a little hard to notice, but I gave him a little scar on his lip to accompany the burn scar. Now for some wonderful little beauty marks. I kind of went on a craze with them on him. He's just covered in them. Now that the outlining is done, it's time to sharpen up and deepen the colors. I do this by wetting my brush and lifting the paint directly off the watercolor pencils. This allows the colors to be more opaque. I think that's the word. Now comes my attempt at highlighting. This is pretty much the first time I've used the pastel chalk pencil. So I was attempting to like highlight and then smooth it out. I'm not sure if it worked the way I intended, but it was an attempt. And I'm saying that a lot this episode because there's a lot of firsts on this fella here. But yeah, I essentially go around highlighting the face, the eyebrows, the folds in the eyelids, the lips, the whole shebang. Apparently I gave up on the chalk pencil because here comes the white gouache paint. Yeah, looking at this right now, I think the gouache paint was the better idea. Still have not mastered that pencil yet. Oh well. We'll see in the future if I can figure out how to use it. For now, gouache paint galore! And now that the face is done, it's time for his mani-pedi. Oh, with a very demanding kitten. Well, she's not a kitten. She's an old lady now. But throughout this entire clip, she just demanded my attention. So, well, I attempted to give him a manicure. Enjoy my cat popping in and out. It's at this point that I started having trouble with my webcam I was using. It, for some reason, refused to connect to my computer program. So all I have next for the clothes and the eyes are some photos. I'm really sorry about that. But all the clothes were hand sewn, and the eyes I chose were initially just throwaways, and I liked them enough to keep them. Hopefully one day I'll be able to do a tutorial on that. For now, moving on to the hair. For his wig, I'll be using alpaca fibers, link in the description for where I bought them. And for him, I am making short locks and then just a couple of long locks. Here you see I have glued them already to make my wefts. And I will attempt to cut them on screen. Hello? Hello? Come on. There we go. Yep. I've shown the whole process in other videos before, but essentially, you cut the fibers, you glue them to some plastic, then once the glue dries, you trim off the excess glue till you just have a thin layer of it, and that becomes a wig weft. Then you take some saran wrap to protect the doll's head and rubber band it on, but because he's a PVC doll, his head kept popping off. There's no other way to say it. His head just legitimately kept popping off his body. I eventually gave up and took his head off. And it was still a pain. It was still such a pain. Next, it's time to take the fabric you're going to use as the base. My sister gave me a lot of hand-me-down tulle fabric that was left over from when my nieces were doing ballet recitals. So that's my fabric of choice for wig wefts, or for wig making. But I think you can use just about any fabric, preferably one with a bit of stretch though. Now I take some Elmer's glue wall and I start putting the glue on the fabric to make the base, or finish off the base? Yeah, you get what I'm going for. Put the glue on and spread it out to an even coating, then let it dry and repeat at least 2 more times. I do 3 coats because I know there's going to be more glue put on it when I start gluing on the wig wefts, but I think most people do a couple more. Since I wasn't able to record the next part, I'll explain it right now. Once the glue dries, you take it off the head and you trim off the excess fabric. Then you put this plastic back on the head and put the now dried wig cap on the head to glue the wefts on. Sorry if this sounds a bit weird, if I'm saying it weirdly. This is like my 5th take on this particular spot. So please forgive me. With the wig cap trimmed and placed back on the doll head, it's time to glue on the wig wefts. I want to kind of mullet for his hairstyle, so I glued the longer wig wefts to the very bottom of the wig cap, where the shorter wig wefts are on top. You'll notice that the shorter wig wefts are not universally cut. They're kind of, some of them are blunt, some of them are more faded out. Frayed out? No. One is blunt, one looks more professional. There's 2 reasons for that. Main reason is this character lives in an algic world. He's not exactly able to go to a salon to get his hair professionally cut, so he cuts it himself. Reason number 2, I just didn't want to deal with it. Honestly, I didn't want to deal with trying to like even out and thinning out the hair properly. So when I realized that he cuts his own hair, I went with it. Despite what I said earlier, I did still try to shape it up a bit. At least an attempt was made. Thank you so much everyone for making it to the end of the video. I really appreciate you sticking around to this point. Over here are my credits, where you'll find, well, you'll see the links, but the links will also be down below. And there'll be links to my rigger, my artist, the artist for any extra assets I might use in the video, as well as to some of the props. I didn't get a chance to record it, but on Etsy I had bought some DIY mini books that you can print out and fold and glue yourself, and I was going to record them, but again, camera kind of crapped out on me, so wasn't able to. If I'm able in the future, I might go ahead and make a mini tutorial, but for now, if you take a look at my shorts, you can see what I did with some of those books. Uh-oh. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? What you gonna do? Uh-oh. So anyway, thank you again for watching till the end. I hope you enjoyed it. And perhaps if you're interested, I can tell more about the Librarian story. Bye-bye. In a world consumed by chaos and madness, there exists a grand library. A safe haven for weary travelers rumored to have every book ever written. Those who enter are greeted by the librarian. You're free to stay as long as you like, and read whatever book you want. But don't hurt anyone, and don't damage the books, or try to leave with them. The library won't like that.